Hello there, you're watching the C Today updates at 3 p.m. My name is Rahma Alia. Let us begin with our first story from Bali. Indonesia has handed over the G20 presidency to India at the G20 summit in Bali, where India will officially assume the presidency of the Intergovernmental Forum on December the 1st, 2022. At the closing ceremony of the summit, Indonesian President Joko Widodo handed over the presidency to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Modi noted that India's G20 presidency will be based on Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family, One Future, which underlines the message of equitable growth and a shared future for all.
Ya, merupakan suatu kehormatan bagi Indonesia untuk memimpin G20 selama 1 tahun terakhir ini. Presidensi kami dimulai dengan harapan untuk menyatukan niat bersama dalam mewujudkan pemulihan dunia yang inklusif dari pandemi. Berbagai tantangan baru muncul yang bukan hanya menghambat pemulihan, namun juga dapat mengancam dunia terjerumus ke krisis yang lebih dalam. Sebagai presidensi G20, Indonesia telah mengupayakan berbagai solusi terbaik selama 1 tahun kepemimpinan. Alhamdulillah hari ini kita dapat mengadopsi dan mengesahkan G20 Bali Leaders Declaration. Ini adalah deklarasi pertama yang dapat diwujudkan sejak Februari 2022. Saya menyampaikan penghargaan yang setinggi-tingginya kepada semua yang hadir yang telah memberikan fleksibilitasnya sehingga deklarasi dapat disepakati dan disahkan. Saya juga ingin menyampaikan penghargaan yang setinggi-tingginya kepada seluruh working groups dan engagement groups atas dedikasi, sumbangan, pemikiran, dan kontribusinya bagi presidensi G20 Indonesia. Selain deklarasi, presidensi Indonesia juga menghasilkan konkret deliverable yang berisi daftar proyek kerjasama negara anggota G20 dan undangan. Proyek kerjasama inilah yang akan membantu membumikan kerja G20 lebih dekat dengan rakyat. Memastikan G20 bermanfaat tidak saja untuk anggotanya, namun juga bagi dunia dan utamanya negara-negara berkembang. Let us recover together, recover stronger. Yang mulia, saya juga ingin menyampaikan selamat kepada India yang akan melanjutkan kepemimpinan presidensi G20 berikutnya, amanah untuk menjaga dan mewujudkan pemulihan global serta pertumbuhan yang kuat dan inklusif selanjutnya berada di tangan yang mulia Perdana Menteri Narendra Modi. Saya yakin di bawah kepemimpinan Perdana Menteri Modi, G20 akan terus bergerak. Sebagai sahabat India dan sebagai bagian dari Troika, tahun depan Indonesia siap untuk mendukung kesuksesan presidensi G20 India. Saya juga meminta kepada semua pimpinan G20 yang hadir untuk mendukung India tahun depan. Menandai berakhirnya presidensi Indonesia di G20 secara resmi, saya menyerah terimakan tampuk kepemimpinan kepada India selaku presidensi G20 berikutnya. Saya mengundang Perdana Menteri Modi untuk menyampaikan sambutannya.
The G20 summits have taken 2 days in Nusa Dua, Bali, and today is the conclusion of the presidency of G20 under Indonesia. Now, for more updates from the G20 summit, we're now connected with reporter Arya Sidarta and video journalist Lutfi Evan. Arya, since you're on the ground right there at Nusa Dua, Bali, what can you tell us about the sessions that happening at the G20 that concludes today?
Right. So as we've seen in that previous clip, Joko has officially ended the G20 summit as well as Indonesia's presidency in the G20 2022. Now he also proudly announced that the G20 summit has adopted the G20 Bali Leaders Declaration. And as you might have noted, he offers his support for the successor for G20 2023, which will be India. Now, after which, during the closing ceremony, it was also a handover ceremony where the president presented the presidential mallet to Narendra Modi as a symbolic gesture of the handover of the G20 presidency. Now, what does this mean for the coming G20 presidency with India in the seat? Now, the theme for G20 2023 in India will be One Earth, One Family, One Future. Now, data for development will be the key principle for the India's G20 in 2023. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke a lot about how digital transformation should not be confined to simply business. It shouldn't be just a ledgers of profits and losses, but it should actually be a tool of eradicating poverty and solving climate change, among many other solutions that digital transformation can provide. Now, Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, also pushed for inclusivity in digital architecture. Now, this was brought with an example from the Prime Minister, which is India's United Payment Interface, or UPI. Now, this UPI allowed for more financial inclusion for more of India's population. So India wishes to bridge the digital divide, so to speak, not only in its own country, but also around the world. As only 50 countries have digital payment systems implemented in their countries. Now, expect that to be the big focus for India's presidency in the coming year. Now, in addition to that, the G20 Leaders Declaration, or also the communique, has been adopted. Now, inside the communique itself, the G20 leaders condemn Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Now, this is a major part of the communique itself. Now, the communique noted that the G20, while not a group that focuses on resolving security issues, nevertheless finds itself seeing that the war between Russia and Ukraine has negatively affected the aspects that do concern the G20, including food and food security, increased energy prices, as well as damage to critical health infrastructure, which a lot of these disproportionately affect marginalized groups. Now, the communique stated that a majority of the members of the G20 have condemned the war, and that there were some other views. As of now, there's no official statement from the Russian government in regards to this communique. Now, in addition to that, the communique also stated that G20 leaders agreed to pursue the efforts to limit the rise of global temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, the leaders agreed to phase down the usage of coal, among other things that are potentially dangerous for the environment and emit a lot of carbon emissions. And also other energy transition policies are expected to be pushed with this communique. Now, aside from the communique, other notable achievements have been established also during the G20 presidency. Those include the Pandemic Fund, which seeks to strengthen health infrastructure, as well as the bilateral meetings also bore fruit, where the US and Indonesia agreed on the global partnership valued at more than $600 million. Now, other things are on the agenda, such as press conferences from the presidents of France, the Prime Minister of Spain, and also a Trihita Karana Forum. But so far, that's what we have for you today. More updates to come. Back to you, Bruce.
Arya Sidarta and Lutfi Efan, thank you so much for the very elaborate updates on the closing day of the G20 presidency under Indonesia in Nusa Dua, Bali. And we're certainly going to update you with a lot more information, especially from the summit and other information as well from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world at the 3-hour news show, which is 1 hour from now. So thank you for now, and I'll see you in 1 hour. Bye-bye. To all of you, and for the next 3 hours we'll bring you the latest from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
With more of a whisper than a resounding clang, Greece has shed another restriction dating back to its painful financial bailout.